Howdy everybody, Steve here, KM9G. Today we're going to take a look at the TinySA Ultra. My friends over at CC have sent this in, and they even gave us a discount code to share with you guys in the description of the video down below. We're going to talk a little bit about what makes this one better than the regular TinySA, and then we're going to do a practical test with the Yaesu FT5D and see about its harmonics and compare the results on the two different devices and see why you might want the Ultra instead of the regular. Both of them are good, one of them's Ultra. Let's go. We're going to do some science today. This is the TinySA Spectrum Analyzer. You guys have seen that before, but this one is Ultra. I like Ultra. So, in the box, what we get is the Ultra. The Ultra's a big boy. Oh, hold on. Before I get yelled at. Ah, got rid of that. Nobody's going to come yelling at me now. And we also get a whole bunch of cables and wires and stuff. And I think this is the same stuff you got in the old box. So we got coax jumper, we got a stylus. Well, stylus is new. Does it have a home? Does it have somewhere you can go to stay and be loved and warm? No, it doesn't. So I'm gonna have to carry the stylus somehow separate. What's that? Came with a 32 gig SD card. Awesome. Wasn't expecting a bonus SD card. Okay, so you got a stylus. You get the two SMA test leads, you get a union, and you need the union in order to complete the test, the calibration procedure. You get a little antenna, you get a USB A to C charging cable, and my favorite is the little stylus. I use the stylus because otherwise you get fingerprints, sorry, the guitar pick, it's still a stylus. Otherwise you get fingerprints all over the screen. Does this have a place to attach the stylus? Oh, there it is. Is it? No, I don't know. Yeah, that is it. Wow, okay. That's going to be interesting to thread through. Can we do it? Cheer me on, folks. This is going to be difficult. You know, it's probably better if I go in first. Oh, that wasn't so bad. I figured out the trick. That's why they gave me the big stylus, so I can use the big stylus to get the little stylus attached. Mostly because I just don't want to lose it. This is really easy. This is going to disappear if I don't make a go box for my TinySA like I did with this one. Actually, I guess I know what I'm doing with that. We'll show you this one in a second. You guys have seen this before if you watch the channel. In order to get started, go to TinySA, view the user's manual, and unlock Ultra mode. And we'll show you what Ultra mode is about here in a minute. Outside of the TinySA and the little stylus, basically all of this stuff here is just stuff that's gonna get lost really easy unless you make up a little Go package like I do. So let's first turn this thing on and see how much of a charge it has to it. Starting. Huh? 2 out of 3 bars charge, not bad. It's got the SD card in there. Let's go through the calibrate routine. Config, more. Oh, there's your enable Ultra. So now you get to calibrate the two different ports. This is the calibrate out port, and this is the RF in and out port, because this thing will put signals out as well as it will put them in. And it's 100 to 800 megahertz and 800 to 5.3 gigahertz. So let's calibrate 100 to 5.34. Connect Cal and RF. And one of the things with calibration is that you want to make sure that your device under test is isolated from all of your cabling and wiring and so forth. So if I'm going to use these two cables in my test bed, in my test rig, then I want to calibrate these cables out of the test rig. And you can't always calibrate everything out, but you know, try and be scientific-like. Try and use the same setup as much as possible. And if you really want to get serious about it, then get the right gear in order to be able to calibrate it out. So connect Cal and RF, that's the Cal port, that's the RF port. They're connected through the two leads and the union. So hit calibrate. Now it's doing a bunch of stuff, running a bunch of tests, putting up a bunch of screen candy. Calibration busy, so don't stop yet. And you can see a little green line going across the bottom that shows you that it is still working. Calibration complete, touch screen to continue. And then we're right back to where we started from. Now we are ready to actually do some work. And one of the most common things that I do with this is to test out HTs. So I have an HT here. If you want to get really serious about it, you're supposed to use an SMA torque wrench. And these SMA connectors have a limited lifespan. So the first thing that a lot of people do is they will get an SMA to BNC adapter and put that on. And then you'll have quick change out connections and you'll be ready to go. So the HT that I want to play with today is the Yaesu FT5D. I haven't tested this out on the channel yet, but now is as good a time as any. And so out of my old kit, and I have to make a new kit now, I am going to need an attenuator to attenuate the signals because the 5 watts coming out of here is going to explode the TinySA. And this is a through attenuator, which is going to take this radio thing here and convert it into 40 dBs less of itself. But it's still going to leave the right connector on the right end of the radio. So I need to have some way of connecting those things together. And what I just did was calibrate out this cable, so I'm going to put it in there. Let's turn the radio on, and then let's set this thing to high power. TX power is currently set to high. And we are on 146.52 on the A band in FM mode. So now we need to configure the TinySA. Let's zoom in here. Let's go back. Let's do measure. Let's do harmonic. Well, actually first, let's go all the way back to the beginning. And let's do config, more, enable ultra. Oh, I got a visit for unlock code. All right, and now we have enabled ultra and it is doing the full sweep. So let's go back to the beginning and let's do measure harmonic of 146.52 megahertz. And then let's do full span of 0 and 1x, because 0 times 1 is 0. So now we've got the full span going. Now let's do a couple of other things here. Display, draw line, minus 16.02, and that is going to be our reference line for pass or fail. Level, external gain is minus 40 to account for the inline attenuator that we put in. And you'll see this thing drop down a bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start transmitting on the radio. And we have found our primary frequency, and this takes a minute for it to work its way out. It's got to do a bunch of sweeps in order to figure out what's clean and what's dirty, what's good and what's bad. And while it's doing this, all of your power is being converted into heat in the attenuator. And then all of the spurs have dropped off. I'm going to go in here, and somewhere in here there is a pause. And now we can look at that screen. And what happens with the TinySA Ultra that doesn't happen with the regular unit is that the screen resolution, number one, the screen is bigger, so it's a little bit easier to see. But number two, the left to right axis here across the bottom goes up a lot higher. In the regular TinySA, what we'll do is we'll pause this and we'll move it off to the side and we'll get the other one out and do it. Let's unplug this and get the radio out of the way. And then we'll get the two units together on the screen. Magic of camera zooming. And so what you can see is on the TinySA, it starts at 0 and it runs to 350 megahertz. So in order to do this test accurately on the TinySA, I would need to plug it into the low port and do a low sweep, then plug it into the high port, change all the configuration, and do a high sweep to get both parts of the sweep. And then you can see the difference in screen size. On this one here, it starts at 0 and it ends at 1.3 gigahertz. So you can see all of the different sweeps. And so your first harmonic is going to be 290 something, your second's going to be 430 something, and so on as you go all the way up. And the one that usually gets people is the third harmonic, well, technically the second, because this is your primary, and then this would be your secondary, and then on and on. There you go. You can see that just the regular TinySA and the TinySA Ultra are both really good devices. You can see there's a difference in size for the two of them, and this one here will make your life a little bit easier because you can do at least the harmonics test without having to reconfigure the entire device. Let's take a look at what some of the differences are between the TinySA Basic and the TinySA Ultra. The Basic has a screen size of 2.8 inches. The Ultra has a screen size of 4 inches. The Basic has two SA inputs, a high quality input from 0.1 to 350 megahertz and a lower quality input from 240 to 960 megahertz. It also has a signal generator built in with two output sine wave for 0.1 to 350 and a square wave for 240 to 960 when not used as a spectrum analyzer. Switchable resolution bandpass filters for ranges between 2.6 and 640. Color display showing 290 scan points providing gapless coverage up to the full low or high frequency range. That's just the Basic. The Ultra, the big differences with the Ultra are you get a spectrum analyzer for 0.1 to 800 megahertz or with Ultra mode enabled, level calibrated up to 6 gigahertz, and it can observe signals up to 12 gigahertz. Signal generator with sine wave output between 0 and 800 or square wave up to 4.4 or RF test signal output up to 5.3 when not used as a spectrum analyzer. Switchable resolution bandpass filters from 200 to 850 kilohertz, built-in 20 dB optional low noise amplifier, Color display showing 450 points, providing gapless covering of the full frequency range, micro SD card slot for storing measurements, settings, and screen captures, an input step attenuator from 0 to 31 dB, which obviously can't be used in combination with the LNA. Why would you drop your attenuation and then up your signal, up your low noise? That makes no sense. A built-in calibration signal generator that is used for automatic self-test and low input calibration. Connected to a PC via USB, it becomes a PC-controlled spectrum analyzer or signal generator. That's pretty slick. That'll be something that we can share with you guys on future live streams and future videos. 2 hours of portable use on the battery. In reality, the battery in this thing lasts forever. I can't tell you the last time I charged the regular TinySA Basic, but for the types of testing that I do, I'm either using it on the computer, at which point it's charging, or I'm using it out in the field, and I really just haven't had a dedicated charging session in who knows how long. Max input level up to 10 dBm. So it says plus 6 dBm RF max right here on the screen, right here on the front of the unit. It's the Basic. The Basic has a 10 dBm reference right here on the top of the screen written on there. But either way, definitely know your limitations and don't exceed them. Do not destroy your TinySA. One of the things you have to worry about with these things is getting a counterfeit unit. Despite what people say in the comments, there are actually people that are out there trying to rob you of your Chinese test gear, and you can get a bad one. So if we look here, buying the TinySA, safe places to buy an original TinySA is the CC store on Amazon. And where to buy the TinySA Ultra is the CC store on Amazon, which is where this one came from. So if you get one through the link with the discount code in the description below, you'll be getting a good one. Switching it into Ultra mode is really easy. Like it says, go up to the website, read the manual, and you will find the unlock code. It's not really a secret, but it is there in the manual and just takes a little bit of hunting around for it. There is a link in the description down below where you can find a discount code to get the TinySA Ultra. If you do not have one of these, then I recommend that you start off with the Ultra, and then you won't have to worry about getting it twice, like I did. So there'll be some more videos on the channel coming up about this TinySA Ultra and some of the things that you can do with it. One of the things I want to try is the SINAD measurement. SINAD? S-I-N-A-D. I guess that's how you pronounce that word. I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comments down below. If you missed out on the TinySA Nano VNA Go Kit, I will leave the video for it right over here for you to watch next. Thanks for being awesome. I'll see you over there.